Hey guys, so I want to try to make an arrowhead out of a piece of the stuff that I found on my last trip. I didn't find anything really large per se, but a couple of these pieces I think are big enough to get a small point out of. This stuff is really nice. It's for hornstone. It's really translucent and buttery and just super high quality stuff. And I think I'm gonna be able to go back and get a lot more of it. That's quite a bit larger when I have a little more access to the property. But I did get permission to go back, so I think I'll try this piece here. It looks like it's really nice. I don't see any cracks or anything in it, so I might be able to put a little point in there. If it don't work out, we'll try maybe try a different one. So on these smaller kind of blocky pieces, I usually try to use my little solid copper boppers to go ahead and start getting them roughed out. I usually work out here. It kind of gives me a little more freedom to take the different flakes and thicknesses and stuff. So this piece out here is kind of hanging out in the wind. I don't know if I'll be able to utilize any of that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Now the trick with these blocky pieces is to set yourself up and remove large portions in the beginning and go ahead and try to get it flattened out as much as you can right off the bat. I'm just kind of getting a feel for the material right now, and go ahead and get rid of that. Looks like that had a crack that was separated right there. Just popped loose. Wow, there it is. Yeah. Okay, so as long as this material in here is solid, no cracks, that should be fine to use for my tip or the base. So we'll leave that there. I don't want to get rid of it. Maybe try to shape the rest of the point around this thickness here, this face. This is an excellent way to practice your direct percussion too. Your accuracy. This is how I learned direct percussion, was on a really small pieces and small tool. I'd like to get set up to come back over here and remove a lot of this thickness here. If I can get this edge to cooperate and get rid of this and raise it up a little bit. So I'll move back my edge and start coming back and see if I can, there it went. You don't want to take too much, just enough to get that bevel there. I'm going to support it with this finger. Come in and hit it right in there. Not too bad. What are you doing down there? You're going to get all dirty. People are going to yell at me for you breathing this dust. I'm going to just turn my fan on. That'll help both of us. Because she is determined to be right there, ain't you? Try to get one more right here. Man, this material is something else. If I can get into some larger pieces of this stuff, gonna be some happy flint nappers. With me being one of them. Where'd it go? There it is. So you'll notice I haven't abraded anything at all yet. Just using my bopper to dull the edges enough on my platforms where I know they'll hold together. Okay, I might even be able to get another one to go right through here. It's kind of risky though, because that's a concave, that ridge has got concavity to it. It's kind of dished. So that flake could very likely go run in there and run out of gas and go break off. So if I do it, I'm gonna have to really pour the heat to it. It's just a thin one, but it did make it over it, I think. Yeah. Try to get another one from the tip down through here. It was a bad hit. Okay, so this slope going up is pretty much straight. It's got a little bit of a concavity to it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but so what I'll do is I'll take the edge down just a little bit in this direction. What that'll do is give me a little bit of a bevel on the back side to hit, and it'll bring it in and get rid of a little bit of that concavity that was in there next to the edge. And I usually like to start at one side, work my way into the mass. You don't just want to hit this thing right in the middle. It'll probably fail. If you give your flake one side for the crack to run out on, it helps the flake keep a lot of the stored energy that it needs to run through there on the other side. Hit that one a little bit up on the edge. Hit it a little bit higher than I wanted to, but in doing so, it revealed a little crack right there by the edge. So I'm fine with that. Just go ahead and take that surface down to meet on the same plane as this one, because it was a deeper flake. So you got to kind of change your plan a little bit when that happens. All right. So this side is shaping up pretty good. Get one more back here. Look at that, nice. Rolled over and got rid of some of the thickness down here. So now we've got a platform here to remove some of this. It's sitting there waiting on us. This is like totally random reduction. Sometimes when you're working with smaller pieces and you do it completely randomly, just bounce around like this, I shouldn't say completely randomly, because there is a strategy to it, but sometimes when you do it this way, it can help. Seems like it helps conserve material, and works out well. I am really stoked about this material I found, man. So my buddy Seth, he said this is hornstone. Just a little different variety than what I was finding before, because this is a couple hours east of where I was before. But it's some pretty incredible stuff. I mean, this stuff is, for hornstone, usually hornstone isn't translucent quite like that. Granted, that's a super thin flake, but you see, if you thin one out, I guarantee you the sun would shine straight through it. Okay, still got this square edge. Still looking good for this being our point or our base. So what you don't want to do in the beginning is, or early on, is go ahead and get your shape. You know, get your shape first. You want to work on your shape as you're thinning, because all that excess material is opportunities you're losing for thinning the piece if you go around knocking all the edges off. So we got this big ridge here. We don't want to get rid of that. I can use that for a platform. Remove some of this thickness. Man, this stuff might be nicer than what I was finding in the honey hole. Hornstone is always, well, not always, but it's usually really nice stuff to work with. It's hardly ever hear about low quality hornstone. But let me tell you, it is definitely out there because I have found it. But this is definitely on the other end of the spectrum here. It's over near the high quality end. It's a lot bluer. It has a bluer look to it than the stuff I was finding that was further west. I think I've got enough of an angle here. I can use this for a platform down here on the bottom. Got it pretty rough, don't you? Don't you? Not a care in the world. You ain't got a care in the world, do you, Noodle? Okay, so I'm looking at this now, and I'm thinking, well, that's kind of steep to remove that thickness up there. So I'd either have to raise this edge up, or I can come at it from over here. And this presents kind of a ridge running through here, so I might be able to get a flake to take some of this thickness down right through there and not lose much size. These flakes don't look like much, but they're really removing the material where they need to. And they add up. So now I pretty much have a working edge all the way around this thing. So I can really start going around and doing some nice thinning. Trying not to install any step fractures. That'll make it easier on us later on. Okay. So I do kind of need to start thinking about what I'm going to do here. I think I'll stick with my plan A and use this as my tip. And the point will probably end up being about, about that long, because we'll have to lose some of this bottom down here. I'll get rid of a lot of this first and see if I can do all the thinning I need to. That way maybe won't have to do much down here except just straighten it up, which I'll probably go ahead and do now. I want to isolate a platform, I'll use the edge or the corner of my abrader to go around the either side of the platform. And then I'll usually give her a little 1-2 there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple little flakes on this other side. Right now it's completely uniface, almost. I think that first one didn't release. Caused the second one to mess up. Try to get one right in here. I'm always looking around in these areas on the bottom corners, low, because wherever the area is you're planning on putting your notches, just start thinning that out as soon as you can. You'll thank yourself. If I run my abrader along the edge of this, that'll make the very edge rounded off. It'll round it off towards the side I'm wanting to take my flake from. Because if it's not, if it's kind of going up the other way, a lot of times it'll cause a flake to mess up or fail. I'm not trying to do too much over here. I just want to get some flake scars started, and that'll give me some contours to work with. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try to do a little thinning from the base. I'm trying to get one in this corner here first. This is kind of in my way, so I'm going to take it first. Okay. Could be a little bit lower. Yikes. I had a little too ground. There we go. So I'm getting down not too far from where I can start pressure flaking this thing. Go ahead and work on my shape a little bit more. It's almost thin enough you can see all the way through it already. Not that it's very thin at all, but it just speaks to how translucent the material is. Got the tip planted into my finger down here just in case. I know you guys can't see that, but I'm pushing it in a straight line trying to support it. That was my finger. Perfect. Good stuff. Good stuff, I tell you. When you can take them little pieces and make nice little preforms out of them. Those little pieces like that are a lot easier to find when you're out looking for material than the big ones. So let's do some little pressure flaking on here. If I can find my pad. Daggone it. There it is. My pressure flaker here is not in the best shape in the world. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I guess it'll be alright. This file is always the hardest thing for me to find. It always blends right into the other tools. I need a specific place to put it. What was that, Noodle? Did you hear that? What was that? You get cobwebs in your whiskers, dude. I don't care. I don't care, Dad. So all I'm going to do here is just go through and put my edge right at the center line by taking flakes down one side, flip it, take a few down the other side. Flip it in for in. I'm going to braid down. Basically just trying to even up everything, get a nice uniform shape. Yeah. That one step fractured on me. See how this side is looking a lot better now. It's kind of evened up. This side over here needs a little more help. I know I'm gonna have to lose some width because I got this square edge here. So go ahead and take it in a bit. This is soft copper. I like to keep one of my pressure flakers with soft copper, not twisted and hardened. If you see it bending a little bit, that's why. Okay, now what I may be able to do is get a couple percussion flakes to go around this other side. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit more. Getting that little bevel on that very edge there, it'll help. Alright, so now I should be able to set up pretty good to remove some of this mass down here. So here I could start pretty much anywhere I want because I have contours. There's actually a place right in the center there, but I won't hit that first. I'll start at the tip and work my way into this mass. Okay, there's one. Sometimes it helps to hit the edge of these platforms when you're working your way down the edge like this. It'll move it over just a little bit for you and it'll stiffen it up and keep it from crushing. So now I just want to remove a flake right in here. Doesn't have to be a real big one. Okay. Now I'll come back and take this one here. Really helping thin it out. Same thing, just rake the edge of that platform a little bit. The flake popped off there because I wasn't supporting it with my finger. Why that's not wanting to release. Had some damage in the edge there, it looks like. Okay, so that really helped out. Removed a lot of mass. Probably get another one from over here, maybe. Oh man, that was bad. Caught it thin. Caught her thin and step fractured on me. It's worth a shot. Looky there. Once you get the point, the piecework down this small, it's kind of easy to get those. It's much easier to get those flakes to make it all the way across there and take out step fractures like that. Alright, a couple more and I'll be able to pressure flake and notch it. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Stepping on your ear. So after that round of thinning and percussion, I'll go back and same thing I did before with my pressure. Kind of normalize or regularize everything. So what I'll do is just go through and anything that's down below the center of mass, I know you guys can't see what's going on because I can't either. Somebody walking down my driveway here. carrying a notebook. Looks like he wants to talk. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. But you can see you can really have some nice success with the small scale percussion. And it's great practice too. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.